Take 3. Let's see if I'm going to be successful this time. It's Mercury retrograde. Everything will last more. So guys, it was my intention not to give you guidelines for, hey, you know, this is the general energy. But as I was shuffling and just trying to kind of really meditate on the cards and meditate on signs, well, 3 cards jumped out. So that clearly was to me a sign. I saw the sign. So we have Page of Pentacles, we have 8 of Cups, and we have Queen of Wands. So I'm not going to go in majority of the details other than telling you, well, that's really good news. Look at him. He has a map on the bottom. He kind of has a feeling where he wants to go and what he wants to accomplish. After all, this is a pentacle. And look at the tower where he is heading. He is also flipping a coin up in the air, so he is feeling lucky. Pentacle is basically omen of some maybe new financial future. And I know generally it's new year that we make new resolutions, but this seems to me that November will actually push us in that direction. And in fact, more so with 8 of Cups. Look at her, she's leaving. Does she look like that she's missing something? Nope. Nope. Look at this. All of these cups are nice and solid over here. In fact, one of them is still steaming. She just felt, there's something missing. There's a particular spice. There's something that I really want, and I really want to go in that direction. So this is going to be honoring that kind of thing. And then where we are heading, whoa, ladies, if you're a lady, you will be on freaking fire. You will be setting your affairs, you'll be putting things in order, organizing, doing. It's going to get busy. This is very unusual for the end of the year in Northern Hemisphere, because we go, oh my god, it's 4 o'clock and it's dark outside, or oh my god, it's 9 o'clock in the morning and it's dark outside. It's one of those really hard days to get through, but not this time around. If you're a Cat Tarot listener, you are going to be infused with energy. So Queen of Wands, if you're a guy, would mean that you're going to have a woman organizing you. Hey, just bend over. You might be slapped on your tushy. So no, I'm just kidding. Queen of Wands is a really good sign. It means we'll be willing to move further. So there were 3 cards. It was one after another, after another, jumping out. So what I really liked about that is that actually we do not have swords. Yes, I know I'm Aquarius, I'm a sword element, but we are going to do really okay without thinking too much, because analysis paralysis, maybe it lasted for a few months, but this means, hey, I know I have to do slow and steady. I maybe need to get a few more courses, but I'm getting there. I want to better myself, and then put all of things in motion. So before I start with your sign, let me just give you a really quick announcement, which is usually happening at this time of a year. And yes, this is that time of a year. I'm actually producing 3 times the material. So Mercury retrograde, 3 times the material. Well, what could go wrong? But if you guys are curious about the upcoming year, the fashion of the last 2 years, I'm going to do my annual taroscopes. I might shuffle things around a little bit. Generally, there is general info about the upcoming year in terms of numerology. We are entering a year number 4, but the most important thing, we are entering a completely new decade, right? So if you're curious about basically the upcoming year, if you have multiple plans that you want to implement in 2020, you're just not alone. So these predictions will help you a great deal. Of course, a personalized planning is also available, but this one here is now on pre-order. It is for $19.95 for one sign, and it is for $45 for all 12. So that way you can check your ascendant, you can check your moon sign, and yeah, you can just peek in somebody else's future for 2020. So take advantage of this price. So I'll be working on that during the month of November. Hopefully they'll be fully delivered by early December, and then the price will go up, significantly up. So guys, 2020 is very important year because it marks the beginning of that relationship between Jupiter and Saturn conjunction that initiates a 20-year cycle. Well, if this is something that you really take seriously, if you really want to push forward and have this additional kind of like tricks in your pocket, this is the way to go. So just click on the link, or you can also visit me on social media where I'll be advertising this for the next month to come. So, shall we start? Hello Virgos, and welcome to your November reading. So this is going to be a very important month for you because your ruler is retrograde as of today, October 31st. So there are going to be 3 powerful weeks which will drive you freaking nuts. From all signs, imagine you ended up with Mercury. But let's start. Let's digress to this one. You got attraction and keep an open mind. And does it mean it's going to be some kind of like sexy kind of like a thingy? After all, we are having that scorpionic energy, and when this mixes with Mercury, it looks like that it could be maybe some kind of like sex party. So let's see how much out of your character you will go. And it's not out of your character, right? We know between just you and me that you're like one of those kinkiest, sexiest sign, right? Okay, so let's go. Two of Cups. Did I not tell you? Did I not tell you? Two of Cups is the soulmate-y kind of like feel. If you are with someone, it's going to be good. Okay, so I'm just listing the cards and then I'm going to see the overview. I'm going to have conclusion because in tarot you cannot read them one by one. It makes better sense if if your tarot is broken, you're not going to get anywhere, even though I see the cards in the on the table. So there is like a cross with 5 of Pentacles. You are afraid. There is like something that has happened. This is clearly talking about somebody being left out in a cold. But frankly, in this particular deck, it doesn't really worry me. They're like properly dressed, and the kitty cat is a company over here. I'm just trying to see if my camera is going to zoom it in, but it looks like out of luck. It simply tells me maybe they're going trick-or-treating over here. So maybe that simply means that you have been tricked and not treated in some kind of like situation, and that's really, really getting for you. You see, last month was for manifesting professional projects and dealing with frustrations of the Mercury going retrograde, and you're starting to feel, some of you, especially older Virgos, older for me, everybody who's 40, we are like over the hill, right? So the older we get, the more we feel this retrogrades, because it's almost like a knocking on the door. You have to look into some issues and have to work on it, right? So then we have 8 of Wands. So it's again messaging of some kind of like love messaging. Maybe you're confused. Maybe somebody you want doesn't have big budget, or it's not looking good on a paper, or you just kind of like figure out you maybe don't see yourself with this person of some kind of like sort, but this person makes you horny. Isn't this like Mike Myers in Austin Powers? You make me horny kind of a thing. And Strength. This is like some kind of commitment. There is like something that maybe you had in the past, wanted in the past. Strength is also about biting your tongue, and I really think quite a bit of that is also going to happen this month. In particular, starting between the 10th and the 15th, it's going to be the hub of that energy. Specifically on November 11th, you have Sun in Scorpio, and then it's conjuncting your ruling planet Mercury, right? So that can cause lots of misunderstandings. So really, really, really watch your words, and both professionally and privately, because people will be very, very touchy over here. Here's Six of Cups. That's the Mercury. It's going to make you idealize. Ugh, I said no more reading after Leo's, but I figured I want to get this Virgo out because I just had the opening over here. So this is that memory lane, looking through the old photo books, listening to the old songs, going to, whatever, maybe even your your folks old songs, something that for you meant something. And it can be really good initially, but cumulatively is going to start kind of like bothering you. So I really wouldn't worry too much. There's lots of the energy that I'm seeing here is almost like about some kind of commitment, but it's all about freaking sex. And I was kidding here when I said sex party, but it looks like I really tapped into something that is going to happen over here. Just make sure that you are not giving your credit cards of some sort that can happen through Mercury retrograde, that safe, it better be safe than sorry kind of thing. Yes, mom, I know. There's Nine of Cups. There is like this emotional happiness, equilibrium. This card is like linking to your card Hermit, and you are going to feel like a little pea in a pod. It's just a perfect place. You're like hugged. You are protected. You're also going to start to dream again. There's also going to be something that will happen, and that probably will happen with this full moon in Taurus. And it's like your sister sign. So just be very careful, because as I told you, like that area 10 to 15, it might be a little bit kind of tricky. So don't be like nitpicking, don't be cranky. Like, looks like you're going to have stressful 2 weeks, so maybe it's kind of like just a little thing needed and going to blow out the lid, right? You need to work this month on relaxing, like on breath work. Deep breath in, deep breath out. If you have one of those fitness trackers, right, they have that relax mode. If you don't have fitness tracker, this is really easy. Breathe in and breathe out. Repeat it 60 times in the morning and at night. That is going to help. And they say it's really good to do that like every few hours, and kind of like you pull it in and kind of like you get composure. You need to really work on that relaxing, and this is basically the task this month. And even if you want to have good sex, it's all about relaxing. So we have King of Pentacles. That's that full moon in Taurus again. So that November 12th is going to be very, very important time for you. You might actually meet somebody here as well. You are in a mode where you want somebody with money. You want somebody who is substantially offering some security. You kind of like maybe been through committing yourself to somebody who was very attractive but had nothing to offer other than gorgeous muscle, a great bone structure, and this was great. Maybe you kind of like needed to tame your own ego. There is like a vanity issue, but the truth here is that you are looking back to people who were imperfect and who kind of like did bring you to that state of bliss. So this is talking about some emotional fulfillments over here, but at the same time you are really grounded. I absolutely love the cake. Look at that. The cake is here, wine is here. Party time, guys. And that's also going to happen when we start getting toward Sagittarius on 22nd. But the Mars is Scorpio, which is going to happen on November 18th. Really prepare yourself, guys, to be kinky. And I kid you not. I see that here. There is going to be lots of fire. you might even equate sex. You may have, under different circumstances, equate sex with love, because there are lots of lovey-dovey things. It might be somebody from the past. You might text your old partner and say, what do I think, how about tonight? I'm feeling kind of frisky, kind of a thing. So some of you, I do have to tell you, might kind of like, especially if you're single, you might attend sex party. I don't even know how to go about that, but it's kind of like looking that way. There is something secretive about your partner. This is falling in your environment, and you're getting the high priestess. Maybe somebody has an eye on you and want to find out more about you, and they're getting a reading. Tarot reader. It's really interesting because I had it showing up on quite a few signs. So I said cattarot.ca, because look at this card over here. It's a soulmate card. And it's Sophie, just that you're seeing walking the table, how appropriate. And she's known that before I drop my angel cards, to pull the cards as well. So this is about highly intuitive nature. It is the environment. Somebody is really kind of like trying to go right in your soul, kind of a thing. Somebody is tapping into your emotional kind of like structure, and the only way to kind of like realize what's going on is that you get reading yourself. But we are going to clarify this and see what is this all about. Hopes and fears. You are very skeptical when things are going right. So what kind of Virgos are coming to Cat Tarot, right? Look, there's this attraction. Look at this, like green. She's all in green. She's hearts in green. Like, I mean, it's November in a few hours, and actually still see roses outside, right? But it's saying keep an open mind. And maybe somebody's like too much of a flirt. Maybe you meet somebody in a place that is quote unquote not proper. So hence it's just good for that situation, but not good otherwise. It doesn't translate. Maybe that's what you're thinking. And maybe some of you are also thinking, I just want to be on my own. I just, don't want to just deal with anybody, kind of a thing. It's kind of like really interesting how two of them are going together. On one side, you're thinking, when I'm single, there are no issues. When I'm in someone, it looks like there's always some kind of bickering. Because this 5 is now relating to this one. You still have fear. Maybe you are the one who has fear of commitment. You don't technically have fear inside. You don't think you do. Let me put it this way. But when it comes to people that you choose, you'll go, no, not him, not her. There is this hesitancy. So which means that you're meeting people and you are proceeding with people. So hello, couldn't that spell kind of like waste of your time? Who really are not people you should be with. So you need to be maybe more selective, or you simply need to kind of decide to go more with your heart than with your head. You're very grounded in this. I mean, of course, this is earth energy, and you kind of like almost like the recipe for this chocolate cake. You know what makes you happy. And since this kind of like fallen in category of who you are, how you're going to feel, even though you know what it is, this is still telling you keep an open mind. And lastly, I see this 4 of Cups. So look at this. 6, 5, 4. You're getting scared. You're clearly getting scared. Maybe you're getting bored. Maybe and your partner is, you're like too high of a league for them. It's simply something is at the odds. I do feel that you'll be dealing with somebody really interesting, but it's not going to keep your attention very, very long. And that's kind of a thing that you really need to think through. But then again, if you're hungry, eat. If you want to have sex, have sex. That's kind of like going to be the grounding energy this particular month. That full moon in Taurus, November 12th, you will really kind of like give yourself maybe a bath and kind of like treat yourself, pamper yourself. It's going to really, really feel that this month you're kind of dedicating to yourself, kind of a thing. So let's check a few things. Oh, by the way, Mercury retrograde is finishing November 20th. So, like, I mean, you will breathe all over again. It's going to feel better. Communication will improve for sure. And this is like in 2 days after we are going in Sagittarius season, where you're going to become really, really productive. And keep in mind that the end of the month is also going to be different, because Venus is going into Capricorn, which is your sister Earth sign, and that is going to be very important for you to date and flirt, because I see that you will say, you know what, I had too many things happening this month. No, I put a fork in me, I'm done. But you might make an error, because you might actually really go and tap into your King of Pentacles, who will be everything you want. But if you're tired and exhausted, you might just decide to stay at home. Imagine how bad this would be, that you're just not there for that person that you were meant to meet in this life. So, cat's orders. Tuesday and Wednesday, I know, sexy days, right? November 26th, November 27th. Just mingle, flirt, you know. It's going to be change of perspective of some kind. Conversation. This is interesting. Lots of people are having input right now in your life. It almost looks like they're kind of gathered, and there's like some situation room, if you wish, to relate to American politics over here. And there is like a value of some kind of advice. So this is really telling me that you still have very strong kind of like stronghold and support from your friends. So this also may mean that you are weighing pros and cons of some kind of situation. You know, maybe, as I said, you know what you want, but you feel it's becoming elusive, kind of a thing, right? This is a favorable card. It indicates, you know, that, you know, certain things will go well, friendships and the relationships, right? And this is really, again, talking about party of some sort. But this can also talk about some kind of like intimate, like, I mean, dialogue of a sort. And for some of you, this can be simply about announcements of birth and pregnancy. I don't know. They're like promises between lovers of some sort, but like at the same time, very unlike you, you're rebelling over certain things that generally you would just like not be caught dead, like, I mean, to break your word. But like you're rebelling over, oh, I'm always serious, I'm always doing this stuff. You are going to start feeling a little bit nervous about it, especially because when you're so organized and the whole freaking thing is like falling apart because everybody is like not, like, I mean, keeping their side of the bargain. So let me see this High Priestess. See, I told you it's going to be love interest. Now you have, yeah, you are in your own freaking way. Get out of your own way. And it might not be love, guys. It might not be permanent, but does it need to be permanent? Why not to freaking enjoy it? Look what you have. Like, I mean, do you need anything more than this? How about this? What's wrong with this? Kind of a thing, right? Conversation about love, something is happening. If you're singleton, you're going to really end up in some kind of strange party, some kind of strange place. Whenever we go through Sagittarius kind of like phase, this kind of like starts being foreigners and bookstores, and you meet people that otherwise you would not kind of like meet, and they become very, very interesting, right? So what do I really say about love, right? For you, love is very earthly love. It's kind of like very, hey, you know, it has to be back and forth. But this really talks about somebody is offering love over here and happiness in love. There will be affection, attraction, intense feelings, romance. also sensuality over here, right? Let's look at chubby Cupid over here. What can I tell you? So there'll be no impediments. In fact, offers will be pouring in. So you will be also attracted. Not going to be issues. Sexual compatibility, it's going to be super, super high. For people who are already together, that's going to be almost like, hey, you know, let's spice the pot kind of a thing, right? You'll be improving things and you will be making them better. So let's see about these fears that are still lingering somewhere over, you know, something that fell through, something that, or maybe that simply could be just your nature, that you just want to rather be prepared than, like, being let down. So this Five of Cups is frivolity. I don't know why they call it frivolity, because this is about lightness. This is about understanding that moments need to be cherished. Moments need to be valued, right? And you will never recapture this moment again in your own life. So it is very important to kind of like enjoy it and go forward. So yeah, this is talking about impulsive behavior. It could mean that you're really fearing, you're being very strict with yourself, right? So it's kind of also interesting how we see the symbolism on this card. It's a single flower, which suggests that also the butterfly is kind of solitary, which we see it over here, right? So how about letting your hair down and having this light and carefree existence, right? I mean, frivolity is a superficial behavior and even irresponsible, but you know, at the same time, I guess what you're worrying, that you don't want to do something you later regret. You don't want to be out of that balance, right? Or they can simply indicate this person who is coming to you is very kind of like flighty or scatterbrained, and you don't like people who are not giving you, yeah, I love you and everything is great, but if they are here one moment and they are not here another moment, forget about it, kind of a thing, right? All right, Virgos, I did pick one more card for you to seal the reading. Please don't forget to check your moon sign and check your ascendant, because that's going to give you a little bit more over here. And of course, just get a reading. That's what I'm saying. Somebody's going to be getting a reading on you, so you can as well just preempt this and say, what do you think? I'm not prepared. So the card you got is Flying Reversed. So I'm going to read this for you. It says, when you see the flying card reversed, it is a gentle reminder that there are times to take flight and times to remain grounded. And for now, you must avoid overreaching. There is still work to be done before you earn your wings. Be patient. What you seek will not be out of reach forever. Remember the story of Icarus in Greek mythology, whose wax made wings and overconfidence brought him too close to the sun. He perished because he didn't realize his limitations. Humility is a great power, and now you must exercise it. Doing too much, too fast, too soon only serves to prevent a beautiful flight later on. So guys, you have this flying motive going over here. Yes, something might be flying. Mercury retrograde. Be careful if you're flying. You might actually meet somebody at the airport. My girlfriend is using airports as the best place to get sex. Oops, that's secret. And she says, no commitment, I just get what I want. So maybe something like that will be happening here. But please tell us, share with us, because this is going to be a spicy month over here. So, or are you going to be too busy in the parties and you will not care about Cat Tarot? I hope that's not the case. Okay guys, and please order one of my annual pre-orders. Taroscopes are about an hour and a half at the very least. They give you comprehensive analysis per quarters, per segment of your life, so you will have a leg up the entire new year. And next year is also the beginning of a new decade. Can you imagine We are already in the third decade of the 21st century. It just like feels like I'm that old, that we turned into 21st century like yesterday. Okay, memories. You see, Mercury retrograde is already working on me. I love you guys. You're going to be everywhere, and it's going to be a lovely month. Just enjoy it. Okay, all the best.